The Perino Model 1908. This is the second LMG to be added with the In the Name of the Tsar DLC, but this weapon was held back a little later than all of the others, and I think I have an idea why that might be. Now, the Perino comes in two variants in Battlefield 1, the low weight and the defensive. The low weight option comes with iron sights, a tripod for prone fire or from firing behind cover, and a 120 round box magazine fed by individual strips of 20 rounds. The defensive follows suit with a 120 round box magazine, and it adds optical sights into the equation, giving you potentially better accuracy at range. There is no variant with a proper powered scope. These two variants will obviously offer you different attributes beyond the attachments, however. The low weight variant will recover its accuracy faster once you start firing it, and the defensive will suffer from greater recoil when fired whilst you're moving around on your feet. The optical sight comes into play when you use the tripod because it can be deadly accurate. Now, as with most weapons in Battlefield 1 with a lot of bullets behind them, the Perino does suffer from overheating, although I don't think you'll find it much of a problem. I've tested it, and 65 rounds can be fired from the Perino before your soldier will have to go through the overheat animation, and I don't think you're really going to notice this one at all. With 120 rounds to be fired before a full reload must be completed, I'd say your chances of overheating this thing are basically zero. The only time that you might hit the limit is if you're tripoded, maybe laying down some suppressive fire on a doorway or something. Those 120 rounds mean you're unlikely going to be completing a full reload at all with this new weapon. But if you were to do that, then you'd be going through a rather elaborate reload system. The box on the outside of the weapon feeds bullets directly into the barrel, and you don't need to stop firing after each strip has been used. You do have to do that with the Bene Merce. You just carry on firing until you run out of bullets or you overheat. The box on the outside is basically a hopper that you put every strip into, and then as the strip gets used, it sort of drops down, which makes the reload animation rather complicated. It's probably the most elaborate reload I've ever seen for a Battlefield weapon. Depending on how many bullets you've got in the box on the outside of the weapon will depend on which stage of the animation you will start from. But essentially, each stage is its own animation because it starts from a different point every single time. It's very similar to the MG14, in which if you fire a certain amount of bullets, you'll have to spin off the drum magazine a certain distance before you can put a new one on. The Perino, however, being filled with 20 round stripper clips in that box, well, you just have to put enough back on to top the thing all the way back up again. You can, of course, cancel the reload mid-reload as well, so if you're sprung upon by an enemy player, you might only have put 2 strips in, giving you 40 rounds from empty, but then you can just fire those 40 rounds because the strip on top will fall down and fire the last 20 rounds without you needing to do anything. Essentially, like I said, the box is a hopper, so you can just fill it up whenever you like, and you can cancel the reload whenever you like, and then just carry on firing. It's a rather strange sensation because I don't really think any other gun in the game really does that, but it does allow for some certain gameplay benefits. Like I said, if somebody springs upon you, then you can start returning fire a lot quicker than you could, say, a belt-fed machine gun. And sometimes you might not even be able to fully reload the Perino unless the round value left in the gun when you started the reload was a multiple of 20. So sometimes you might try and fully top off the box on the outside and it's going to look full, but you might have 117 rounds in the gun instead of 120, and that's because the bottom strip is sort of halfway finished being used. That's not really an issue at all, it's more just an observation. That's DICE's attention to detail there. But if you absolutely have to have 120 rounds, then you can hit reload again, another reload animation will occur, they'll take out the bottom strip, put another one on the top, and then you've got your 120 rounds. You really can tell that the team at DICE spent a lot of time with this weapon trying to get the reload mechanics just perfect. I mean, it's a lot of work just for one gun, but it does look very, very cool when you use it. But besides all that, what's the weapon really like to use in a gunfight? Well, of the 2 variants that you can pick from, or the 2 that you can unlock when the DLC comes along in early September, I'd say the low weight option is going to benefit you more. Now, the Perino fires at a fairly leisurely 450 rounds a minute. That's Merce territory, and it appears to follow a similar damage model to many of the other LMGs as well. I think it's 23 max damage. Now, I don't have any concrete stats for the weapon right now, but it does appear to take a similar amount of bullets to kill over various ranges as the Merce gun does at the moment. Now, the advantage of that is that you hold 120 rounds in reserve that you can just keep on firing until you either hit that overheat or you have to reload. Both of the variants are fairly accurate when standing still and aiming down the sights, which again tells you more about the playstyle that you should really be going for with the Perino. Go slow and steady. Use the tripod up on cover as much as you can to eliminate almost any recoil that the weapon has left, but if you're fighting out in the open, it might be best to try and stand still and fire some accurate shots at players that you're battling against. Now, the iron sights on the low weight do protrude quite a lot into your vision as you aim down sights, but in practice, I didn't find that to be too harmful. The optical sight on the defensive variant makes it fairly easy to find targets when you're using the tripod, more so than if you're using the low weight. The defensive is for players who want to use that tripod as much as possible at the end of the day. When you compare the Perino to other MGs already in Battlefield 1 or coming to Battlefield 1, as is the case with the MG14, then I'd say it fits into the group. It does offer significantly more damage potential with those 120 rounds, and as one of the names of the variants might suggest, it is more of a defensive machine gun. If you want something to push with, to be more aggressive, maybe take the fight to the enemy, then you'd be better off taking something like the BAR or the Shosha, both of which offer way more advantageous stats for taking down players on the front lines. The BAR with its high rate of fire and fairly low recoil, and the Shosha with its crazy high damage per bullet. I'd say the Perino is more for a player who likes to stick with their squad, lay down fire towards enemies, and who doesn't mind if the rest of his squad or his team pick off some of those kills. Now, that's not to say that you can't do well with it in an aggressive manner. You can, you just have to have your wits about you. It's just that that low rate of fire will leave you wanting in close quarters gunfights. If you can outmaneuver your enemy with some quick footwork, however, in extreme close quarters, you might still get the odd kill or two. Now, yesterday, I posted a video of the brand new Tsar map. That's the same gameplay that you're watching in the background right now. It's just that I've got loads of Perino gameplay for you today. I'd like to quickly go back to the map and talk about that just for a second. I'd like to make a point surrounding the 3-flag layout. Now, I like the 3-flag layout, and I think it suits the congested, infantry-centric nature of the map, but I do think that DICE need to address the issue of the scoring once one team holds all 3 flags. If one team triple caps the other, the match just ends insanely quickly because the team with 3 flags gets points awarded stupidly fast towards that 1,000-point score. 3 rounds that I played last night, they ended in less than 10 minutes, I think. All because the enemy team triple capped and the scoring system flew up to 1,000 just far too fast. Now, as I said, I think the map is great with 3 flags, and when the teams are fighting over controller flags across the map, it does feel very, very cool. But if one team does dominate the other and push the other team all the way back, that's where the issues lie. I think DICE need to apply some kind of score speed reduction to Tsar, which I think is the only 3-flag conquest map now in Battlefield 1. Suez was a 3-flag map, then it became a 5-flag map, and apparently DICE are going to change it again, but that was back in February, and they still haven't done anything with it. If the speed of the score is reduced, even if one team does have control of all 3 flags, it gives the losing team a fighting chance to sort of regain a foothold in that round. As we know, if the score difference goes past about 150 tickets in Conquest, the team winning, 9 times out of 10, is going to win the round anyway, and that holds true with Tsar. If a team manages to triple cap and opens up the score, the losing team basically stand no chance of being able to fight back at all, and that's not really fun for anybody. This is another reason why I think DICE should return Conquest to its older rule set from past games, where only one team bleeds the other team's tickets if they hold a majority of the flags. Now that's a topic for another video, and I do plan on making it, but I just wanted to get that information out there. I think DICE might need to just have a look at that scoring system a little bit. But there you go, that's the Perino coming to Battlefield 1 very soon. It's a very unique looking weapon, and likely it will have its own unlock requirements, so once those become available, I'll make a video updating you guys. Maybe I'll even do like a live video unlocking it through live gameplay or something. But let me know what you think of it down below in the comments, and I'll be down there reading as many as I can. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.